The Elk Point-Jefferson Huskies are 5-1 on the season after taking a big win over Wagner on Friday night. And joining us on Coach's Corner today is the Huskies head coach, Jake Terry. I want to thank you for taking some time and talking some Huskies football, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to be here.
So let's start. Heading into the season, expectations were pretty high for this group. How do you feel like they have handled this season so far?
You know, we've really done a nice job with kind of some of those expectations, like you said. Our focus has been on growth over the year, getting better 1 week at a time, one play at a time, and just kind of trying to find our identity a little bit and continuing to work to get better each and every week. You know, we had a tough game early with Winter. You know, obviously they're a very good program, and love playing those tough games early because it gives you a chance to look back, reflect, and as a coach, as a program, and see what are we doing right, what do we need to change, what do we need to fix if we want to be playing at the end of the season like to be doing.
You kind of talked about identity right there. Kind of, how would you define the team's identity?
Balanced. We had so last Friday we scored 49 points against Wagner. It was very, very good program. But those 7 touchdowns, we had 7 different guys score touchdowns. So to me, that's kind of where we want to be at. You know, run to pass balance. If we are going to run, it might be this guy, it might be that guy. We got a lot of different threats. Keaton Gale does a phenomenal job at quarterback for us, distributing the football, getting us into the right plays, and making some really good reads out there. And whether it be running some option in our RPO games, stuff like that, and being able to distribute the ball and having that trust to his teammates too, that he knows that if he gets them the ball, they're going to be able to make a play with it. And that's been fun to see, and to be able to see that growth as a program. Where we can have that many weapons on the field at any given time, it's been great for sure.
I'm sure being so balanced in your play call is one of the keys to success for this team, but what are some other keys to success so far?
Our defense has been playing lights out. Coach Hockin, our defensive coordinator, has done a really nice job getting the guys ready to play, having a game plan for each week, and really keeping things simple to allow our kids to play. We focus on alignments and making sure that we get lined up right, talking through our checks and balances system that we have in place, and really just allowing our kids to play fast and run and tackle. We haven't forced a lot of turnovers this year, but we also, it's kind of been one of those weird things where we've gotten some stops when we needed to get stops, not necessarily by an interception or a fumble recovery, but our kids have played well, and we've really focused on not giving up the big play, and our varsity defense has done a phenomenal job of that for sure.
And there's only a couple more games before the regular season is over. What are you kind of looking for as you head into postseason play?
We got a big game this week with Flandreau, and then the following week with Sioux Valley. Sioux Valley is going to come in. They'll be 7-0, ranked number 2 in the state. So there's a lot of playoff seeding points on the line there with those last 2 games. Things are kind of sorting themselves out here as we go into the postseason push. And, our goal is to be playing our best football, once the playoffs come around. And, I know defensively our kids have continued to improve each and every week. And same thing on the offensive side. They continue to get better and better and better. And, our kids are good enough that they can adapt on the fly, whether it be by tags, formations, or just a completely different scheme. If a defense is giving us a look we didn't expect to see, our kids can flip gears and, give us an opportunity to be successful, even if it's not necessarily what we practice all week.
And Friday night is Parents' Night. Can you kind of talk about the importance of, honoring the players and their parents after they put in so much work during the season?
Yeah, that's 100%. It's our way of saying thank you for everything that you guys have done. There's so much time commitment that goes into a football program that people don't see. They just see, all right, you have 1 game a week on Friday nights. They don't realize that, we've been in the weight room since December, January. We lifted at 6 a.m. all the way through the summer. So getting out of bed at 5:30 to get to weights, I mean, that's a commitment by the kids. It's a commitment by the parents to, hold their sons accountable, be like, hey, you can't just take today off. You need to get up, you be a part of something bigger than you. And, our kids hold each other accountable with those things. But, it's our way of saying thank you to the parents for all that they've done over the years, whether it be by providing a meal, giving us a vehicle to be able to get out to Black Hill State team camp, or just being there in the stands and being supportive. It's a great way to say thank you for sure.
And I kind of want to hit on your coaching journey. How did you end up at Elk Point, and kind of, walk us through, how it's been there?
Yeah, so I started in Vermillion in 2009. I was an assistant coach for Gary Culver. Coach Culver's a Hall of Fame coach in South Dakota. He's been around, he's seen everything, and man, if you could learn from somebody, he's about as good as you can get. He's a Sioux City guy. Came up, played for USD, and really is a mentor to this day. If there's any questions or anything like that, I can always call him, ask him, and he'll be willing to drop whatever he has going on to help out another guy. So he's a phenomenal guy to have in your back pocket. And then so I was there for 5 years. Went out west, out to Lead Deadwood for 1 year. My wife and I, we got married, moved out there, kind of looking try something new, try something different. We're out there for 1 year, and she's from Vermillion originally, and when the opportunity came back to get to Elk Point, to be a head coach here in 2014. So this is 2015. This is year 10 for me at EPJ. We jumped at the opportunity. Elk Point hadn't had a whole lot of football success. I want to say they scored 27 points a year before I got here, and that's, it was a struggling program. We didn't have any weight program going, but it took a few years, and being able to have that stability, being able to have a group of kids who trusted the process, and hey, let's take your time, and it may not happen overnight, but they bought in, and over the last 10 years, it's been a pretty fun ride. I've had one assistant coach with me the whole time, Adam Timmons. He's our offensive coordinator. He's been with me highs and lows, so he's been phenomenal to have. And a lot of our success comes from that stability. Our Jake Ocken, our D coordinator, has been with us now for 7 years. We've had an O-line coach with us for 8. Our D-line coach has been here now 8 or 9 years as well too. So having that stability in coaching is such a huge asset. And the kids know what to expect. They know when they come to practice every single day, they're going to be held accountable. They know that they're going to get our all. We're going to give them our best effort, and hopefully we expect the same out from them. And it's been a fun ride, and it's admin has been great here at EPJ too. That's the one thing that speaks volumes is our school administration, all the way from superintendent, AD, principal, elementary principal. They all do such a great job of being supportive of not only football and athletics, but the kids as a whole, and helping our kids become the best version of themselves when they walk out of the door.
Absolutely. 10 years of building brick by brick for a really good culture and some championship expectations. And that's all the time we have on Coach's Corner. I want to thank you one more time, Coach, for chit-chatting some Huskies football.
You bet. Thanks.